Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. And I always try to get interesting people to come on here. So Cameron Hall from Moose Media is joining me right now. So Cameron, kind of explain what it is and what you guys do.
Yeah, of course. So I'm based here in the University of Alabama. I go to school here now. I'm a junior, and I've been kind of making videos my whole life, and it's something that's been a part of my high school career at Brighton, and then it kind of transferred over here to Alabama. And basically, when I got here, I met with this guy. His name was Sam Messina, and when I came in as a freshman, he was a senior, and he had started this personal company called Moose Media, and he really wanted to grow it. And I thought, with my expertise and everything, we could really grow it into something a lot bigger. And now we have this big company, Moose Media, that's based in California that we expanded together. And then I started my own subsidiary, which is Moose U, which is what this hat is. And that stands for Moose University. So we specialize in university content, brands on campus, sororities on campus, fraternities on campus, and artists when they come to town.
Okay, so kind of explain some of the projects that you've been able to do with this.
Yeah. So there's many, we work with a lot of sororities on sorority videos. Those are big budget, high production videos. And then we've worked with some really cool artists as well that kind of have those name dropping qualities. So we've worked with, Gucci Mane. I've been in the studio with Waka Flocka Flame. Tomorrow I'm filming with Untitled Chapter. It's bouncing around a lot. We work with some big names, and then you just move on. It's the next week and you got to do something else. That's just the tip of the iceberg. We've worked with young bands, Zaytoven, the producer, lots of Sheck West. When Mobamba was out, we worked with him. There's a lot of names, a lot of DJs and stuff like that. You kind of roll with it, because once I got in here, it was just right off the bat, we're working with these big names, and you kind of just got to keep moving on to the next thing always.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of explain, you've worked with all these groups. What specifically do you do for them?
So we are more, when we work with artists, we're moving into the music video space. But when I started we were more of a recap of live events. So artists would come to town. Let's say Gucci Mane comes to town, right? Or let's take even Sheck West, because that's one of our biggest videos we've ever made. When, he's a one-hit wonder, right? He had that big song, Mobamba. When that song was really big, he came to the University of Alabama, and we filmed the entire event for him. And we had a recap that went live, the next day of here's what you missed if you weren't there, or if you were there, see yourself in this video. So it's him on stage. We're on stage with him. We've got 3 guys recording from all different angles of the event, and we really just try to capture those moments of those artists on stage. So it's a really cool experience.
Okay, so what do you plan on where do you kind of plan on taking all this and stuff?
It's tricky because right now I'm in this spot where the university really gives me all my work. So, the companies around here kind of ask me, our company is well known on campus. So a lot of companies will reach out to us for videos and stuff like that, just through the university. And we get a lot of our work from sororities and stuff like that. So moving out of college, the goal is to move to California. And that's where Sam Messina, technically my boss and my coworker is at, and trying to start a base for us there at a bigger budget. We're talking real commercials with real companies. We worked with Oscar Mayer recently, and we're trying to start these bigger, yearly deals where we can create these big budget commercials that are beyond where we're at right now. Because we want to get, the goal is to get higher class gear, red cameras, big production sets, big lights, get whole teams on shoots. But to get there, you have to learn the basics and go through the process. So we're really just, in that startup phase, trying to move on to the big budget space.
So really kind of explain, I know that you've done a lot of work with sororities, fraternities. What have you kind of seen doing that? What specifically what would they see if you did something for them?
So let's take a sorority because those are probably surprisingly those are probably the biggest budget videos we do for them. These sororities in at the University of Alabama, they make these practically short films, to recruit these girls to come to Alabama. And that's really what these videos are for, is it's recruitment videos. So for reference, last year, probably one of the best videos I've ever made because it was so high budget. I made 80 pies sorority video for the 2020 fall recruitment. And, we have scripts for that. We have shot locations for that. We've got lots of actors or actresses in this case that, and we've got a whole story laid out. And we have like shot for shot of what happens where, these big planned out locations. Even if I can send you links, so you can even show the audience what I'm talking about. But they're these very big production shoots where we get probably up to 100 girls, trying to organize them to do specific tasks so that we can convince these girls to come and recruit for these events. And then for fraternities, it's kind of the same thing, but we'll shoot more events for them. So instead of recruitment, it's more just like, look at this event that they put on, here's a recap of it, sort of like the artist videos. And then from there, you see these events they have, maybe you should come here because this is super fun or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Um, Talk about maybe some of the projects that you've recently worked on.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on right now. We're very busy. So in the spring here, I'll try to run off like what I've done. So I flew out at the very beginning of this semester. I flew out to Florida and I filmed a 3 video project with Tropical Smoothie. So that's like obviously a big client. And I just had a meeting with the Tropical Smoothie in town today, and we're working on stuff with them in town. But I was in Florida. They were opening a division at Deerfield Beach, and so I was there all weekend filming with the owner there, and then there were celebrities that would come by and we'd film with them as well. Kind of smaller celebrities, but still, Zach Rancy, he was a person on Big Brother, if you've ever seen that show, and he came by and we filmed with him at there, sort of those like reality TV show stars that come by and kind of help with the process of opening a business like that. And so we create YouTube video recaps for the grand opening or full on commercials for their Instagrams or stuff like that. And then, some of the other projects, I worked with the Hub apartment complex. We did a commercial with them, showing off their new room format that they've just created. And so I went out to Kentucky to film that. So it's a lot of moving around to create these contents for these brands.
Yeah. And just, what are you working on previously? What are you working on right now?
So right now I am working with the university directly to create the Panhellenic video. That's something that I'm currently editing. It's on my computer right now. I just sent a draft out about 2 days ago. I'm waiting on corrections. And that Panhellenic, they basically run all the sororities in town. So it's more like directly connected to the university. And then I just had a meeting with Tropical Smoothie to film an event at Tropical Smoothie for a big fundraiser they're doing there. And then tomorrow I'm filming with NLE Choppa, the rapper, at a local event in town. So that's some of the things that are going on right now.
Yeah. Where can people find you and all that?
Yeah. So the best place to find what I'm doing is at Moose University. So the tag is just MOOUSE and then university. And we're on Instagram for the most part. That's where most of our content is. And then, I kind of put the best content I like on my personal page, which is Cameron M. Hall, also university, or also on Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
And I'll have all the links and descriptions if you want to go check out us on my YouTube channel. So, all right, Cameron, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us, and let's catch up again sometime and talk about some of the other projects that you're going to be working on.
For sure. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me on.
No problem.